Hi everybody. So thank you for watching. If you are watching live, then you can write live, or if you are watching replay, then also you can write replay. And if you are watching the recording on a course, you are referring sometime after, then also please be mindful to give your takeaways. So let me share without wasting time. Let me share the screen. Hope everybody is able to see the screen. If you are able to see the screen, then give me a thumbs up. So this is day number 3. First day is time management and why we are not able to manage time, and what actually we ignore so as to let's say ignore time management. And the second day was to reset your mindset to manage time better. And the third day is find your value compass for the time at your disposal. So, how much time do we have for ourselves to think and to make the maximum of the time that we have? So, there is a system of values that we have, and there have you realized that sometimes what happens, there are some people for whom we think that we should respect their time, and we do whatever is possible at our level to reach out to them, to be present for them. So that is something called value system. Even if we are, like say, not very well disposed of about our time that day, but we sacrifice all other things. We put all the other values to the secondary place, and we attend their time if we have promised and if we are getting their time. So it is that value system that I am talking about. So what will distract you from the values? If you have some values, no, like say, no matter what, you will watch for that, those values. So what will distract you? Your values. If your values is not to be present for this particular training in time, then that also tells a lot about the value that you attach to this trend, right? So, so if you have your value system set somewhere away from this training, I understand that, right? Because again, that is a feedback also, and I never know, right? But the value system, if you are putting as priority something more than this, of course, you are not managing your time well. And it will take some time to manage your time well. 6 core values of trendsetters, which because I train trendsetters who think innovative, who think in another way, and who think out of the box. These core values, what I have decided for, I consider myself a trendsetter. Trendsetter is a person who does something for the first time. So the first value that I have set for myself is dignity. There is a, there is a story behind why I have chosen this value. There was honesty, integrity were also the value. But you know, when I started working for livelihoods, I saw that only earning the money is not very important. If you are not earning that money with respect, then then it is not called a livelihood, right? So that respect that you are associating along with your livelihood is called dignity. So you should be respected, and and uh, you should be admired for your values, right? So what are the parameters of dignity? So far, There may be many more, but so far what I have. So welcome anybody, whoever has entered this room. So as I was saying that values are what which helps you put something on priority. So what I was trying to say is, if you are not able to manage your time properly, the first thing is to be on time to something. Like say if it is called like say, uh, let me stop sharing and see who else is there. Yes. So if you are not in time for something, that means you don't respect or you don't understand the importance of that, right? So let me share the screen properly. There is some, yes. So the first value is dignity, as I was talking. Dignity, so far, what I have decided is no compromise on values for your livelihoods. The second thing is whatever livelihood you choose, it should be of your choice. The third thing is you should be able to move for your livelihoods. If there should not be any restriction on your movement, because ladies are stopped from going for certain kind of out of their home, although nowadays it is not like that, but ladies are not allowed out of their home. So that was a restriction I found, that which also prevents them for taking dignified livelihood. And the, the decision that they make, it should not be having some kind of compulsion. So that should be unrestricted decision. So these are the values around dignity. And how does it matter in time, managing your time? See, anything you take, like say compromise on values, like say whatever you think is proper, that is called dignity. And if you are not allowed to that, you always will fight with your mind to be present and to see something, do something for the sake of doing it and for somebody else. You will not be living for yourself, where if you are compromising your self-respect, that is, you are compromising on your dignity. And it will always restrict you, you and force you to be somebody else. And for whatever time you are here, like say we are talking today about our time here, right? We are living for ourselves. This is the first thing. There is so much about livelihood with dignity, is that like say people waste their time, most of their time, compromising that. And the second value is tranquility, which is about having time with ourselves, wait for the turn. So many people think this age is of competition, and if we wait, then we lose time. That is what we have the perception, right? So in that case, we have lost our decency. So what use managing that time? So if you manage your time, you win friendship, you win dignity, you win respect. Those are the values much more ahead than the small small gains that you achieve by being in competition. So wait for your turn. That is the first thing about tranquility. Allow respite. The other person might have done something wrong. Allow that person some some space, some leeway to be free from that guilt, right? How do we utilize our time if we don't allow the other person to be respectful and self-loving for himself? Because we as human beings should allow the other person to be a human being as well. Expand the moment. Sometimes you will be hurt and somebody will insult you or something. Just be in that moment and expand that moment. Then the intensity will fizzle out. If you expand something, no, the intensity fizzles out. So that is why you just expand the moment, feeling that moment of hurt and experiencing the other person's intention behind that hurt. Then it fizzles out. That is what tranquility is. In that moment, you don't become reactive. You become peaceful. And then less noise, more voice. We always think, the more we shout, the more voice we will have. It is not like that. Let us be poised at our response. Without speaking also, we speak a lot. We can speak a lot. We can express a lot. So not making more noise, but having some kind of voice. So Mr. Suresh, you are here. So if you are listening to me, you can at whatever time, if you have a question, you can ask me a question. Are you able to listen to me?
Yes, ma'am. Sure, I will ask.
Yeah. So everything is making sense,
Yes, ma'am.
whatever.
More these things are relevant.
Yeah. Thank you for the confidence. And then the third value is about compassion, like say for others. But it is about the community also. Like say why we live because of the community for other people, right? We live for ourselves, of course, but for having a meaning, a purpose, it always involves the other person. So it also comes with lot of compassion in our heart and inclusion. These are the three things I have clubbed under compassion. And it means equality. The other person, whether I am doing good for that person, even then the person is not below me. That person is at par with me. That is called equality. No judging. The other person might have done something wrong. It is none of my business, right? Even if that person has done something wrong against me, but we should give some kind of respite to him, saying that that person has done whatever he has done. According to him, it was right. For us, it was wrong. But no use explaining that other person that this is wrong, this is right, because that person already thinks that he is right. So not wasting any time in explaining how you feel to the other person, because it takes time for anybody. For us also, it takes time to understand something. The other person also takes time to understand something. So just allow the other person to be what he wants to be. Then the gratitude, I say our own existence. It is a huge blessing for us to be having this human form, to be able to be gifted, experience so many good things. Might be there are bad things happening to us just for our good also. And that feeling that we are well taken care of, that that produces gratitude in us. So for somebody else, a higher power maybe, which is taking care of us, creates a greater gratitude. And inclusion. Equality and inclusion are both the same thing. In the first thing, equality is like say we think that the other person is equal to us. In inclusion, we actually include that person to our surrounding, to our benefits, to whatever opportunity we are getting, we are sharing that. That is called this thing. And we make time to think about the other person, how to include that person, how to share our blessings with that person. This takes time. And this is how we say it is not about managing time, say for from 5 a.m. in the morning to 12 p.m., maybe midnight. It is not managing time like that. It is utilizing also. Utilization of time should be very, very useful for us, for others. Fourth is transformation. Like say, if we think about a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. So that is when transformation happens. And if we are having a big goal, then that transformation is inevitable. Otherwise, we are not going to achieve those goals with our present condition. And how does it come? How can we become a butterfly from a caterpillar? By using these four methods. One is freedom. Like say we should, like say कर्म करते जाइए and there should not be any expectation of the result. Exactly the same thing. Detach, and that gives you a lot of freedom. And then expansion, which is by delivering, by giving somebody a thing of value, maybe our time, maybe our resources, sharing of that, that expands us. And when we get expanded, we are a different kind of person. We are not restricted by our low thoughts, right? Then the third is depth in self, because all these thoughts, how we transfer? We transfer by when we change our thoughts, completely change our thoughts to a higher value, higher frequency, right? Unless we think deeply about ourselves, we cannot we cannot change, right? So that is the depth I'm talking about, and enactment of that. Whatever we think, not only think and decide in the mind and not implementing anything. It's not like that. Just try to implement also whatever we have thought that we should do. Then the next is wealth. Wealth or abundance. Abundance is not about money only. It should actually be abundance here. Uh, it should also be about our relationship, our reaching goal in time, ability to multiply, contribution, and timely support. How do you utilize your wealth? Utilize by your because you have resources, you can now achieve goals in time. And the second is ability to multiply. You whatever you invest in, that should multiply a lot so that it becomes useful for others also. The third is the contribution. We have to give whatever we achieve, a part of it, so that we help in a very abstract way to multiply whatever we have earned. Then timely support. We will be like say I have a dream of supporting many children in achieving their dreams. Right? And the sixth is the joy. It is the core value. One is global vision. If we how can I have my joy? My joy will happen if I help, I contribute something to the global vision, like say making net zero carbon footprint by 2080. If something I do, whatever innovation I have, if that contributes to the this global vision, then co-creation is something I do, I can replicate, or somebody is doing innovation, if I can spend my time with that innovation. And the third is automation. So I save my time by delegating or automating my work. And the fourth is delegation. Whatever routine work is there, I have to create a second and third rank so that they can take up whatever work I'm doing. In that way, I'll save time, right? So these are the six core values. And how do we decide our core values? Your values might not be the same as my values. So how do you decide? So here are a few values that I have created, like acceptance, accomplishment. So out of, there are say 6 pages of values that I have created. So what you should do is, from each page you can take say 3 to 10 values, right? So there are maybe more than 10 values out here. 3 to 6 values or 10 values you can pick up, that you can rank. So from each page, take 3 values each. 3, whatever makes sense to you. Take those, and then if you pick up say 3 values from each page, what will happen is you will get 18 values. Then number them serially. Set your priority. Once you set your priority, pick up the first value and then compare against the second. If first remains first and second remains second, then it's okay. Take that first value and compare with the third. If again it remains the same, then it is okay. If it is not, then make the third, take the third to the first and first to the third. Likewise, do with all the values, right? Do with all the values. Once you are done with this, there will be say some 18 values, and pick up the first 6 values. Those will be the ultimate 6 values that you have. You might have other values, but these are the 6 core values which are non-negotiable. That is how you pick up your 6 values. So now ask these questions. Does these values help you in managing your time better? If yes, then go to the goal setting exercise and see how it helps your goal setting better. And if no, then might be you are having a perception. Like one person I met, he is having a very difficult time in choosing his value. He has kind of 50 values, I think so. So he is not able to let go any of the values because he thinks that once he does something wrong, he has to be punished. So he punishes himself. Now, if your value is not self-love, then of course you will go on punishing yourself. Then when do you find that respite to bring yourself, transform yourself, right? So that is again another exercise where we need to sit one to one a long time, and this is about perception. This is now a question of perception. It goes from value setting to perception, right? So thank you for watching this, and like this, I take up 30 outcomes, and if you think that some other outcomes you should like, you should know, like perception is one outcome, changing your perception is one outcome, and that perception has to be against somebody else. So if those are the things you have in mind, then you can take up other chapters of this particular course. And finally, obviously, once you are done with this course, what will happen is you will move to the next chapter, and you will have a lot of questions to along with that, right? So once you are done with those, once you are done with those, then you will have later question. It requires practice, right? So what I'll suggest is make some note, make a note of your takeaways, major takeaways, apply them in some life situation, and then come up with some questions. It will throw some challenges to you, and then stay with those questions till you get it resolved in the next chapter, right? So that's it. Thank you for watching.